We shift our focus to this story now. Political tensions have risen as a motion of no confidence is brought against Executive Mayor Dada Morero. The ANC has criticised several of its coalition partners after they filed a motion of no confidence against Johannesburg Mayor Morero. The party claims the action is an opportunistic attempt to destabilise its progress. The UDM, Jamah, ATM and AHC brought the motion of no confidence against Morero, citing, among others, his alleged interference in administrative processes and failure to implement decisions from the Political Management Committee. ANC Secretary for Greater Johannesburg Sasabona Manganye spoke to the SABC a bit earlier.
I think, look, firstly, the allegations, are unfounded, and it's regrettable that these parties that have raised this issue are parties that we work with in a coalition. We even had a meeting with them on Monday to discuss their own challenges as the collective small parties. They have never raised even a single issue about the mayor. We were just shocked through media reports that they have an intention to put a motion of no confidence. And of course, we are very clear, to say this motion is just very desperate and opportunistic because, the executive mayor is doing very well in the city in terms of ensuring that we reclaim our inner city, we clean up the inner city, we reclaim our buildings and a number of service delivery achievements in a very short space of time. And as the coalition partners, they should be supporting the work that the executive mayor is doing rather than defocusing the executive mayor through motions that they know themselves that they will not even be able to even make a motion to succeed.
All right, for more on this, we're joined in studio by SABC News reporter Samkele Maseko. Good afternoon, Samkele. Now, this no confidence motion comes just 4 months after the last attempt to oust Dada Morero. But this time around, many are saying it's quite serious or significant because it's being sponsored by coalition partners. What exactly is at play? What are the reasons for this?
Joburg is very dynamic and fraught with divisions, particularly within council and within the government of local unity. If you look at the smaller parties and the history of the allocation of positions of MMCs within the city of Johannesburg, you'd remember Action SA used to hold the position of speaker within council. They voted against the budget. They spoke against the mayor's state of the city address. You'd remember him and Mashaba being unhappy that they were not consulted, particularly within the budgetary framework and consultations of the budget of the city of Johannesburg. Ultimately, Action SA was removed from the government of local unity. Margaret Arnolds then came in from the AIC as the Speaker of Council of Johannesburg, being removed as the MMC of Finance within the city. So the smaller parties within the government of local unity, the minority governing parties, were then promised the position of MMC of Finance within the city of Joburg. It took the mayor about a month to appoint the MMC of Finance, Loyiso Masuku, from the African National Congress, which was a position that was initially meant to go to the smaller parties from where they stand. Then you come to the issue of the appointment of the city manager. Now that is where the big elephant in the room is at. And the mayor is very explicit and clear that he does not want Dr. Floyd Brink as the city manager.
Oh, so that's where the allegation comes from, of interference in administrative processes.
That is partially where it comes in, but it also boils down to the decisions of the Political Management Council, the PMC, where a decision was then ultimately taken that Floyd Brink will be the candidate of the government of local unity. But Dada Morero seems to have reservations with the appointment of Dr. Floyd Brink as the city manager of Johannesburg. I did listen to some of the meetings the ANC was having in this course of the week, where he ultimately says if Floyd Brink is brought in as city manager of the city of Joburg, the ANC within the province must then ultimately take responsibility, because Floyd Brink would have not been brought by the ANC in the Johannesburg region. So those are some of the difficulties that these smaller parties are facing within the government of local unity, that they feel as if they don't have decision-making powers. The decision-making powers is squarely being done by the executive mayor alone, particularly if you look at where Johannesburg is at. You've seen a cleaner city. in recent times. Many have said it's because of the G20.
Yeah.
You've also seen Moody's projecting a positive outlook for the finances of the city of Johannesburg. And interestingly, yesterday you had Helen Ziller, whom was speaking at a DA launch of a billboard, saying that the ANC is running cul-de-sac in the city of Johannesburg, improving service delivery because of the stiff competition that is being brought by her candidacy for the position of Executive Mayor of the city of Joburg. So there is divisions with the government of provincial unity, and it all centralizes around Dada Morero, the divisions in the ANC, and also ultimately the divisions around who will be the city manager of the city of Joburg.
But then listening to Sasabona, the coordinator now, Sasabona Manganye, it then sounds disingenuous. With this context that you're giving us, it would sound disingenuous on their part to say we absolutely don't know why they've brought a motion of no confidence, it's opportunistic. But if you're saying there are issues that they've been ventilating among themselves, where they were insisting that Floyd Brink must be the candidate and the ANC wanted to bring in somebody else, then most certainly they know where this stems from. So what kind of an interview would that be then, where he says we really don't know?
Politics 101 teaches you that you must never reveal the true contents of the discussions that you are having with your partners and with your political opponents. What Sasabona Manganye was doing in the morning was essentially doing what ANC does in yesteryear, where they speak with one voice, with one message, multiple voices. That is the ANC messaging of old that Sasabona was displaying in his interview earlier on in the morning with Sakina Kwamendo. But the divisions do definitely boil around the ANC being divided on who will become the city manager of Johannesburg. You've got candidate number 2, who is currently the CEO or who is within the Engineering Council of South Africa, Msiza, who is ultimately being looked at by the executive mayor as a possible person who can come in and assist him with the issues of service delivery. Just Dada Morero speaking this week on Sunday evening in the ANC local meeting with the province led by Panyaza Lusufi and Hope Papo. He ultimately said that the positives that you are seeing within service delivery in Johannesburg is ultimately of all of the hard work that they've put in with the current bureaucrats, that administration that is there within the current city of Johannesburg. And if you were to bring in someone who is not in sync with the executive mayor, then ultimately service delivery will go back to be dilapidated, lack of provision of service delivery to the residents of the city of Johannesburg, and the city will ultimately not be ready for the G20 summit. So this
couldn't have come at a worse time.
This all centralizes around the position of city manager of Joburg. But interestingly, even if this motion goes ahead, if you look at the current tally of votes of councils, we've got 270 councillors in the city of Johannesburg. If the ANC, the IFP, the EFF and Patriotic Alliance all vote together, you have 136 votes, which the mayor still keeps his position as the executive mayor of the city of Johannesburg. So Sasabona Manganye, speaking earlier on, mathematically, he is correct that the motion of no confidence will not succeed if ANC votes as a bloc with all of these other parties. Then it ultimately means these 4 parties that have pushed for this motion will ultimately be out of the government of provincial unity, like Action SA. But it does reduce the numbers of the government of provincial unity.
He did sound a bit confident there, Sasabona. Samkele, thank you very much, as always, for the reportage. That's SABC News senior reporter Samkele Maseko speaking to us there.